Sup boys, LudiDeo here, with my favorite class in the game, Fury Warrior. So let's start with that. The Giga Chat class. As you know, I mostly range, anything between top 20 to 50 Fury Warriors. Ended up 27-30 last season. Pretty decent in 1 or 2 days of playing, because I have to play other classes as well. But yeah, I really love Fury. So let's get started with the basic, guys. So and that's race. What is the best race? I think we all know the answer to this. But for those who do not know, if you want to be a min-max sweat lord and embarrassment to the warrior community, you will pick Gno. And you will also put pink hair. Okay? Now, if you want to be cool, if you want to be strong, and if you want to be good looking, you'll be playing Orc or Tarren, High Mountain Tarren, if you're playing Horde. Now, obviously Horde is cooler than the Alliance, but if you're going to play Alliance, which is also fine, Night Elf is going to be a very good option. Now, a little bit worse option will be Human. And that's pretty much it. I mean, Dwarf is kind of cool, but he's small, you need a big weapon, you know how it goes. The bigger the weapon. So, now that we covered the most important part, let's talk about the stats, okay? Let's get to the target dummy. See what we have here. I mean, season just started, obviously the stats are not gonna be perfect, but I'm gonna explain the logic here, okay? I'm gonna explain the logic. So as you can see, I have mostly Verse, then Mastery, then Haste. So let me talk about it now. Okay? Verse gives you damage and tankiness, damage reduction. Now, it doesn't give you the most damage, it actually gives you the least damage out of these stats. But it gives you the damage reduction in return, right? And damage reduction is huge in PvP, right? Doing 5% more damage is worth less than receiving 5% less damage, okay? So versatility is going to be your #1 stat. Your #2 stat is Mastery, which increases the damage you do while you're enraged. You're enraged pretty much all the time, right? Except when you CC'd. So Haste is a feel-good stat, okay? It increases your downtime between buttons, right? You click faster, your fingers start hurting more. You are literally an ADHD guy. Just slam your keyboard, okay? Your keyboard is gonna last less, but that's the way of Fury, and I like it. My favorite build is the Haste build, but Mastery is better, okay? So now I'm gonna explain the difference between these two builds. Haste build will do more damage if you're 100% uptime on the target. So if you're on a target dummy, okay, you're just pumping, but that's not realistic in PvP, right? Because targets are moving. So Mastery will be the better stat in PvP, definitely, because it will hit harder, right? Now, it's hard to say what is the best, because every Fury prefers different, okay? I like a balanced ratio. A little bit more Mastery than Haste, but I like Haste as well. Now, for example, last season on the ladder, there was a lot of Furies that had completely different builds on the top of the ladder. One is full Mastery, the other guy is full Haste, the third guy is something in between, I'm something in between, you know? So you will have to find your own balance, what you like the most. I can't tell it for you. I'm gonna tell you what is my favorite. I like a ratio of maybe 65% to 35% Mastery to Haste, okay? Or maybe 60 to 40, because I really like Haste. I've tried all builds on Fury and this feels good, right? Now, crit, I wouldn't even think about it, honestly. Crit is the worst stat for Fury, okay? So, what else do we have? Gear, embellishments, enchants, okay? Let's start with the tier set. All tier sets are nerfed by 50% in PvP. So you see Rampage damage increased by 10%, it's halved. Okay, it's 5%, and only Furious damage is by 5% as well. Man, this guy is annoying. Let's go up. So, I will be personally running a 2 set. As I've heard, most will be running 4 set. I might try the 4 set, but one piece is giving crit, and I'm not a fan of crit. So I personally will be running a 2 set. If you go 4 set, it's completely fine. If you go 2 set, it's completely fine. It's not gonna change a thing. It's not gonna change a thing. It's like 0.1% difference in I don't know which direction, but it's not gonna change a thing, okay? So don't even think about it too much. You can go 2 set or 4 set. 2 set is very good, 4 set is whatever. So embellishments, currently the best ones are these Arcano Weave Insight. Okay, that's currently the best one. You want to have 2 of these. As you see, I have on chest and on belt. I'll slowly go through my gear, but this will be changing every week. So, you know. As you see, I have weapon enchant for mastery, because that's the best stat. We have leg enchant for strength. We have chest enchant for strength. And we have speed enchants on shoulders and head. And mastery enchants on rings. Now, the only thing I'm missing is speed enchant on boots, but it's super expensive, so I'm not gonna buy it. Same goes for gems, right? Gems, you're just gonna min-max your gear. Oh, I'm missing a little bit of haste, I'm gonna put some gems for haste. Oh, I'm missing a little bit of mastery, I'm just gonna put some mastery. It's you know, just try to get your ratio right. That's it. Because in season 1, it's not important. We won't be hitting these caps, as you can see. There's a cap, right? We won't be hitting them, so it doesn't matter. We won't be losing any stats. That's the biggest problem here, right? If you go haste, no big deal. If you go mastery, no big deal. As long as you don't overcap and lose some points, okay? So let's get into the talents now. Hero talent. Which hero talent tree are we gonna play? Right now, Mountain Thane is looking way better. Okay, Mountain Thane is looking way better. Again, this guy, I can hear him. Let me jump. So, why? Let me explain why is Mountain Thane better. Okay, our main damage comes from Rampage and Bloodthirst. Okay, this season, which is completely different from the last season. What does Mountain Thane buff? It buffs Bloodthirst and Rampage damage. Okay, Slayer doesn't. So already big plus to this. Okay, you have to choose between Avatar and Blaze Storm. So Mountain Thane, you're buffing your Avatar, you're increasing your Avatar duration by a lot. Recklessness and Avatar have the same cooldown. Again, very nice, very cool. Burst of Power, super strong. This is very strong talent. Okay, so Mountain Thane is just looking, and it cleaves way better. It cleaves a lot, right? Slayer, no. So it has just so many pluses over the Slayer that it would be stupid not to pick it, right? Personally, I like Slayer more, but if it was viable, I would play it. But I will give you build for both, okay? Okay, so let's get into the talents. This is my usual talent tree. I will go in depth now for both trees. I'll break down every single talent we have here. If you don't want to stay for that, you know, just skip to the next chapter. Everything is chaptered, right? So let's get going. I'm gonna tell you guys what is bad, what is optional, and what is necessary, right? So let's start. Obviously, these two you have to pick. Now, movement speed is optional. It's decent, okay, but this is better. So if you need to choose between these, I'm gonna pick this, right? Thunderclap is obviously, you need to pick it. Leeching Strikes, very optional, very mid, you know. Stormbolt, insane, you need it. Crackling Thunder is actually, let's say, optional, but I would never not take it. in this build, right? It doesn't make sense. Heroic Leap, a must. Impending Victory, very good, you need it. Rend is pretty much a must in this build. Second Wind is very weak, honestly. It's pretty damn weak. It heals for almost nothing. But sometimes I pick it, but you know, it's not great. Floating Berserker is very bad. This is garbage talent, okay? This talent is nice, but then you have to pick a garbage talent. So do you wanna, you know, it's kinda taking 2 points for this, so you know. Bounding Stride is very nice. This is very nice. Definitely recommend. Intervene, of course, very good. Spell Reflection, amazing. This is pretty good. Rallying Cry, pretty good. You want it so you can save your teammate if, you know, it's weak, but it can save your teammate. Shockwave is useful. I don't always pick it, it's optional. Like, I mean, Intervene could be optional in some matches as well, in Shuffle. Obviously not in coordinated play. What else do we have? Wrecking Throw, very good against shields like Lock, like Discipline Priest, stuff like that, right? Shattering Throw, destroying the bubble, very useful. Rumbling Earth, you need 2 points to get this. It's only useful against pet classes, like BM Hunter, right? Now, this is very good talent, okay? So imagine, what this does is removes fear from your whole team within 24 yards. So if Shadow Priest or Warrior fears, AoE fears your whole team, you can save your healer and not die. So very good talent. Now this is good if you're playing against, for example, Lock. He's spam fearing you, you have lower cooldown on this, very useful. Always pick this. Unfortunately, this is a dead talent now because, well, you have to choose between them. Wound Reflexes is very good, but it's optional. But I pretty much always pick it, okay? But it's optional. These are all obviously a must pick. They're super good talents. So what do we put these for? Movement speed, if you need to run down someone, I don't know, Hunter, right? Leeching Strikes and Second Wind, 2 survivability options, 2 worst survivability options, because we have some here that are fine. Very weak. If you don't have anything else that you need, it's fine to pick. Okay. This is very bad. This is okay. So, you know, if you want to commit and try it out. Intervene, very good. So I would recommend. Shockwave, very good. I don't always run it though, but let's run it this time. I always run this, even though I think it's optional. Super good. This is, I told you, pet classes. Wrecking Throw, very useful against shields. So let's say we're playing against Discipline Priest, I'm gonna take this, okay? This, you always pick. This is okay. I mean, it increases damage to the shields. If you obviously only gonna run this if you run this, but then you have to do this, right? But then you're losing shouts, right? So I think this is usually better. Now this is the only one optional in this tree. It's only 5% damage, which can be replaced in these two. Okay, we'll get to that though. These are a must pick. This is a must pick. Now this one could be optional as well, okay? But I pretty much always run it. Now this is very good if, I don't know, you're playing against Marksman. He's going true shot, full burst, one shot. You're in defensive stance. This is gonna mitigate solid damage, okay? Champion Spear, very useful. Now that you can leap on it extra, super good. The only problem is you could miss it. That's the only problem with it. Otherwise, it's a great talent, okay? Okay, that's for the left tree. Let's do the right tree. I removed talents that are not important and we'll talk about them now. Everything you see here is pretty much a must, okay? Everything you see here, don't even think about it, just pick it, okay? Now, what is the optional talents? Massacre. Problem is, you're not executing much. Deep wounds. The problem is, you're not executing much. Okay. Now this is a good defensive option. Okay. Let's say you're playing against very bursty classes, like a rogue, sub-rogue. Now this is an option as well. Bloodthirst, you're bloodthirsting a lot. It only works on the crits, unfortunately. And it increases the damage of Raging Blow. Well, Raging Blow kinda blows, so... You know, this is not the best either. Raging Blow increases the damage of your next Bloodthirst, sounds good, but you're not really pressing Raging Blow, so this talent blows. Now, this is actually a good talent, very good, but it's, as you can see, very optional, because you need to hit 3 targets. So this is the best of the bunch, but it's optional, because you can't hit 3 targets always, right? So boom, let's say we pick this. Let's say... Oh yeah, this talent is like a meme, but cool, funny, in BGs or maybe low-rated shuffles. It could work out, definitely. This, it's pretty bad. This, it's pretty bad. Pretty bad. You don't care about Raging Blow damage, it does no damage. Okay, it does no damage. What else do we have? Executioner Rat, again. Generates 4 additional rage, okay. Increases the damage of Rampage by 10%, not too bad. For 4 seconds, so you need to immediately Rampage after executing. Again, you're not executing much, so not the greatest talent either. So those 2 points you can put anywhere, honestly. It's not gonna make a difference. You can put them here, you can put them here, you can put them here, you know. It's whatever. It's not gonna change gameplay at all. It's not gonna do anything. Okay. If you look at the ladder, all the top Furies, like I was top 12 Fury now, but all the ones above me, they literally have it all over the place. This guy has it here. This guy has it there. Not here. Sorry, here. You know, here. It's all over the place. So they all suck. So just pick the one you think sucks the least. I think this one sucks the least. And other than that, I can't tell. You know, they're all bad, they're all horrible. So we kind of have 2 dead talents, but yeah. Oh, middle tree. Pretty much don't change anything here. You have, I mean, 3 options only. This is kind of lame. This is maybe good in BGs, but it's a nerf in arena. You don't want increased cooldown on Stormbolt. It's a nerf, literally. This is okay, whatevs. And now this could be, like, this is 90% of the time better option. But this has its place sometimes. Maybe against, you know, something, I don't know, lock, there's 0 physical damage, so that part is done, but you can't even reach the target. Maybe not against lock. Let's say Frost Mage, maybe. You have some extra stamina, you know, you can't reach the target anyway. So this could be, in that case, good. Okay, what about the PvP talents? Slaughterhouse always. It's your mortal wound effect, you need this, don't even think about it. What else do we have? Enduring Rage is, okay, it's a passive, you know, it's no big deal. So I sometimes pick it if I don't need anything else. That Wish is like a meme, funny if you know you're playing against worse players than you. BG, shuffle, whatever, you're smurfing, you know. It's a funny talent. Master and Commander I've been playing recently, honestly I don't like it. Rallying Cry is bad anyway, I think, so... Demolition is pretty decent when running Wrecking Throw, okay? It's pretty damn decent. Rebound, honestly I never use, so I wouldn't recommend it. Safeguard is actually very good, especially in coordinated play. In Shuffle, I don't think I would be using this. Dragon Charge is pretty much maybe a BG meme talent. It's pretty funny, so use it in BG. Berserker Roar is actually insane talent. It's insane talent. So imagine the scenario. You're playing against Warrior and Sub-Rogue in Shuffle, okay? Warrior fears your whole team. Boom. You Berserker shout them all out of the fear. And now, if you read this, it's gonna reduce the next CC by 50%. So Rogue is going for the kidney. And the kidney is gonna be halved in the duration. That's pretty sick, right? That's pretty sick. It could be life for that. Then we have Disarm. Pretty self-explanatory, Disarm. You disarm like a Warrior, DK, Rogue, whatever, right? Okay. Okay, I almost forgot about Slayer, unfortunately. My beloved Slayer. Let's talk about it. Now, I won't be going in depth about everything once again, so, you know, you can go watch Thane if you skip to Slayer. Let's just talk about the differences, yeah? So, we're removing the Thunderclap here because no need, right? So I'm gonna put... I have to take Leech because I'm not going Thunderclap, so I can get the other nodes. And last node we could put anywhere. We could put it in movement speed, we can put it here, right? No big deal. So, yeah. Rise tree. We're removing these Whirlwind because those stack with Thunderclap and we don't need that. So we have few options, I mean few points free now. But since we're playing Slayer, which is an execute build, we're obviously going with these talents, even though they suck, right? We're going with these talents, even though they suck. So the last point is flexible anywhere. But since these are, you know, all bad, I was thinking, might as well put it here for a little bit of tankiness, right? Now the mid tree is pretty much set in stone, but I see that most people are using this. Honestly, I don't see why. I don't see why, because I mean, we're not pressing Raging Blow that much, right? We're not pressing Raging Blow that much. So this seems better to me. Now I haven't, you know, there's no data was there, but logically, to me, this seems better than this, okay? This is great. You want to be running this. This is nerfed in PvP, and pretty much that's the Slayer tree. Okay, let's talk about how to do damage now, huh? Okay, boys, it's time to pump. Let me explain the Fury first, how it works. Fury is a consistent damage dealer, which means we don't have a burst rotation. We have a damage priority, and we need to follow it to do maximum damage. And by doing that, we'll be pumping a lot of damage and wearing down our opponent until he dies. Okay? So let's talk, how do we do this? So first thing I need to do is enrage myself. How do we enrage ourselves? With a Bloodthirst, with a Rampage, or Odin's Fury. Okay, why Bloodthirst? Because fresh meat. Okay, so let's get in. For this example, I'm just gonna Odin Fury, and that's it. Then I'm enraged now. What do? We can reckless this avatar into Rampage. Okay, boom. We're pumping Rampage. Rampage is at the top of our list. Okay, Rampage is at the top of our list. What is after Rampage? It's Bloodthirst. What's after Bloodthirst? It's Thunderclap, right? And then it's Execute, and then it's Raging Blow. So, Rampage, Bloodthirst, Thunderclap. Now we don't have Execute. We have nothing except Raging Blow. Horrible. Boom. Execute. Boom. Rampage. Boom. Bloodthirst. Execute. Raging Blow. Bloodthirst. Rampage. Execute. And so on, so forth, right? Boom, we have everything back. We start pumping, right? We're just ramping our damage slowly. Going up and up and up and up. We're gonna end up at 50k DPS, right? Or more. So. That's how Fury plays. And obviously when you get Odin's Fury you can press it because it does decent damage. So let me do it now in real time. So we are unfortunately unlucky with the procs, but it is what it is. You know? No big deal. Don't forget that Thunderclap increases the time of your avatar. Okay? So, I just want to show you a little bit on AoE. So, in AoE, obviously, you want to track those 4 buffs that you get. Whirlwind, right? Which makes your single target damage cleave. So, once it drops to 4, you want to Thunderclap again. But obviously, you want to use it as soon as possible if you get the proc, because it extends your avatar as well, right? So, the only difference I mean, there's pretty much no difference. You're still gonna rampage, Bloodthirst. If you have 4 stacks, if you don't have 4 stacks, you're gonna put the Thunderclap above in the AoE situation. In single target, you're not. Okay, so in single target, it's gonna be rampage, Bloodthirst, Thunderclap, execute, Raging Blow, and in the AoE, it's gonna be the same. Except if you have 0 stacks, it's gonna be at the top Thunderclap, okay? So, very simple, I think. Now let's get into this Slayer. Okay, so Slayer is not gonna be much different, but you'll be executing more, okay? So, as same, again, we wanna get Enraged first, but this time I'm gonna Blaze Storm, okay? I'm gonna Recklessness Blaze Storm. So, Rage. It gives you haste, that's why. Right? Now this build will do way less damage in AoE situation, but in single targets it's pretty good actually. So let's check the single target. Well, we don't have most of our abilities, but let's do it anyway. As you see, the rotation is kinda easier here, because there's no Thunderclap. So you will be Raging Blow more in this actually build, right? You'll be Raging Blow more, definitely. So, that's pretty much the rotation. You might prioritize execute before Bloodthirst this time, because you're running this and you will be executing a lot, right? So it's gonna be Rampage, execute, Bloodthirst, Raging Blow. A little bit easier rotation, which makes more sense. And that's it. Okay, let's talk about mobility. So, I was just cosplaying Warrior. You're in a wheelchair, right? So you have to be very, very thoughtful of your mobility usage. If you don't need to charge, if you don't need to heroic leap, don't do it. Because otherwise, you will get rooted, you will get slowed, and then you'll have nothing to press, and you will be... yeah, like, play ping pong with you, you know? So, that's the most important thing you need to learn. It's impossible to give you, you know, examples of that. I think you'll learn that with experience, but have that in mind, okay? That's an important thing. Now, we talk about defenses. Let's talk about defensive usage. Very simple. Spell Reflect, boom, you reflect Chaos Bolt. Enrage region, you're playing against Sub-Rogue, you're gonna press it in Kidney Shot. You counter Kidney Shot, okay? Very good. Rallying Cry, I usually use it only on teammates. I don't use it on myself. Intervene. You intervene the target. you're pretty much taking all the damage from them, but it's only 10 yards, right? If you leave, like you go away from here, boom, it's useless, okay? So you need to stay close. Berserker Rage we talked about, it's pretty damn good, right? In PvP talent section. Now CC, we don't have much. We don't have much. Shockwave, Stormbolt, and Fear. So the best thing would be, you know, you can Shockwave or Stormbolt someone. 3-second stun, boom into Fear, 9-second stun on healer, very nice. Try to kill something. And that's it what Warrior has from the toolkit. That's pretty much it. Okay guys, let's talk macros. I don't have almost none on Warrior. It's just Stormbolt 1, 2, 3. Okay, 1, 2, 3. We have Recklessness with Avatar and Orc Ratio. And well, I don't have it anymore, I guess. Blaze Storm, which is just, you know, interchangeable with that Ravager talent. I have Rampage, which cancels the Blaze Storm. I have Leap on the Cursor. Intervene with the, again, canceling Blaze Storm. This is with the Healthstone, interchangeable with the Die by the Sword. You know, not much. We don't have much here. Now, Addons, I have a full video on the Addons, which is 20 minutes long, so I'm not gonna talk about it again, but check it out if you know, want to know about the Addons. Now let's talk about Warrior place in brackets, okay? The Solo Shuffle is pretty decent, it's pretty good. It's a B tier spec, okay? It's not, like, the damage is great, mobility is pretty bad, that's the biggest problem. Now let's talk about 2v2, 3v3 and Blitz, yeah? So 2v2 is actually very decent against melees. You will struggle, actually you will always lose against some ranged classes like Frost Mage, which is very popular. It's impossible to beat. It is impossible to beat. Double caster, for example, Void Weaver plus a caster, you will lose all of them, okay? You should lose. Obviously, so if you're way better than them, you'll win, but you should lose, okay? So Warrior in 2v2, again, kind of B tier, but it's better in melee matchups. Again, against something like a Feral, something like a Rogue, they can always run away. You can't, right? If they start losing, they can reset the fight. You can't. So 2v2 is kinda not a Warrior bracket. You know, it's for the classes that like to hide. Warrior doesn't like to hide. 3v3, again, I played decent amount of 3s last season. When I was going for the Glad, I started with the Warrior. No one wanted to play with me because I was a Warrior, so I had to change to Marksman, and yeah. So in 3s, it's decent, but it's very hard to play at the higher level. And there are only a few comps that you can play with. And yeah, I forgot about to say comps, sorry guys. Pressy Walker is very good, Mistweaver is very good. Rest Druid is always good in 2s, even though it's kind of bad right now. Shaman, I'm not a big fan. Priest, it's kind of middle ground. Holy Paladin is also decent, but I'm kind of not a big fan. So two best classes would be Mistweaver and Pressy Walker for Warrior. Okay. Now why? Why? Because Pressy Walker gives you mobility. Boom, done. Mistweaver is the best healer. Rust Druid in 2s is always the best healer. Okay? That's why. 3s, you want to partner with usually another melee, which can enable you, like Red Paladin. He can freedom you, you know. He can bop you. Enhancement Shaman, which can bloodlust you. And Holy DK is pretty good too. Frost DK is... I think I like playing with Unholy more. Frost DK is viable too. You can spear, and he can one-shot. Now, we have covered melee. What about the casters? The casters are kind of tougher to play with Warrior. Shadow Priest is playable, but it's hard to play. It's like you will win, but you will need to live for a while. Elemental Shaman is pretty good. It's a good comp. And actually Frost Mage is pretty decent, because he enables you and slows. For example, I don't know, you're playing against Hunter. Well, Hunter is gonna be permaslowed, and you will have uptime on him all the time. So that's pretty good, and Mage brings good CC as well, bring the debuff. So that's a pretty good comp too. Now, what do you think about the Blitz? Blitz, Warrior is just not the greatest class in Blitz. Again, it's a B tier, mid tier spec. You know, it's good in brawling, it's good in team fights, but it doesn't bring anything other than damage. It doesn't bring any utility. It doesn't bring any, you know, strong pressure, strong CC, strong burst. It just brings consistent damage, and it's kind of oppressive to healers. Other than that, out of the team fights, it's pretty bad. It can lose most of 1v1s. If you're equally skilled, you will lose most of 1v1s, pretty much all of them. Fury is not that great at killing the flag because it needs to ramp up. For example, Arms is better at that. So all in all, it's a mid-tier spec. The only thing you bring is damage. And we talked about CC and how that's your biggest problem. Well, in BG it's just multiplied because there's more players and you'll be getting rooted and slowed even more. So in Blitz, both are Arms and Fury kind of mid. They're not terrible, but they're not great. Okay, so this is my document from last year when I was doing Elite on every single class, and I was rating how hard and strong they were. Just gonna, you know, overwrite things for this season, how they feel to me. Slayer right now, I think, just dropped in strength, so I'm gonna say it's a 6 out of 10 in strength. So the strongest is 10 out of 10, the weakest is 0, obviously. For difficulty, the 10 out of 10 is the hardest, and the 0 out of 10 is the easiest. So Slayer dropped in strength. Mountain, I think, increased in strength, actually, and I'm gonna give it 7.5. Okay? Now, difficulty, I think, is about the same. Nothing changed in difficulty. Actually, I think it stayed the same. Maybe Mountain Thane I should increase by 0.5% because it has like one extra button. So I would say it's slightly harder than the Slayer, but you know, it's marginal. To get Elite, it's gonna be very hard because of the meta. Currently, Fury Warrior on the ladder is bottom 4. So the worst is Outlaw, then it's Assassination, then it's Arms, and then it's Fury. And we have 22 specs, DPS specs, and all the healers above us. So at this point, I'm gonna say to get Elite, it's gonna be 7 out of 10, maybe even 7.5. I'm gonna be conservative and say 7 out of 10. It could be even higher because Frost Mage is dominating. Frost Mage is the biggest counter to Warrior, and it's pretty much an insta-loss playing against it. So that's the biggest problem. That could bump this up even higher. Now baseline, it's 5 out of 10, but the meta is increasing the hardness of the Warrior. So you know what? I'm gonna do it 7.5. The stats don't lie. We are bottom 4. Arms is bottom 3. So, you know. Okay guys, hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, drop the like and subscribe if you haven't, because Arms Warrior is coming next. That's gonna be a juicy one as well. So, once again, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in Arena. Peace out. Huge fear, huge. Boom! Let's go, baby. Wanna fear them? They're shadow blades. Get out of here. Look, I can't do anything about it. Their damage is just insane. Oh. Well played, Insane. You're right about that. You are right about that. Boom! Let's go! Let's go! One more. Oh, I didn't open defensive stance. Come on, man. Uncurable, unfortunately. Can't move. What's going on, man? Come on. Boom, 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 boom. Let's go, baby. Did we hit top 20? Did we hit top 20? Let me check one more time. $18.22, baby. And we are at top 12. Not too bad. After 9 hours. Not too bad.